Welcome to the final webisode in our 13-show series for the TTS SF project car build-up for Fortitude.com. In our last webisode, we learned what it takes to effectively bring this 400 horsepower TTS from 60 to 0 with a bit of help from our friends at Race Technologies and Adams Rotors. So when one starts planning out the mods to a car, we think in terms of power and style, naturally, which makes good sense, but what happens if you're an audiophile and want to extrapolate more out of your stereo? Let's face it, the Bose system has its limitations, and after a great deal of research, it's mostly due to the factory speakers and amps. The RNSC system has the potential to run a high-fidelity system. It needed a boost, and Audison from Italy created a smart way to harness that potential in the Bit 1, which is the new heart of this car audio setup. The only shop I would trust to turn out this level of top-drawer custom install is Sound Innovations in Hayward, California. The owner Ernesto and I sat down for an hour one Tuesday and mapped out what a premium level sound system would be comprised of. My budget was moderate, so the fact that the newer Voce line of speakers from Audison were recently released to the American market got me pretty excited. During the course of this audio build, I insisted on two non-negotiables. Number one, the system and install could not add any additional weight to the TTS. And number two, I wanted all of the components to be able to be hidden or look stock. We contacted Electromedia USA, whom is the distributor of the Audison line, and about a week later, everything we needed to do this install had arrived. First things first, the Sound Innovations crew got right down to ripping the car apart in order to make way for this new system. Junior was the lead on a good portion of the fabrication involved in redesigning the interior of this car, and Daniel lent his skills to the technical side of things. After the car was stripped down, Daniel formed out the Cascade Audio Sound Deadening VB Max product on the doors and floor pan. This product served in two capacities. It silences the panel rattle, plus it keeps the good sounds in and the undesirable sounds out. Sound deadening applied, the guys turned their attention to installing MDF trim rings for the Voce separates. For the TTS, we used the K6 two-way components and the AV 3.0s to handle the mid-range frequencies. The heart of the system is really the Bit 1 digital signal processor, which allows you to continue using the OEM RNSC or MMI unit in a far more robust way. Daniel crafted this spring-loaded mount for the Bit 1 controller inside the OEM ashtray. As I stated before, a good car audio system should be heard, not seen.
Man, he's cutting up into this rare TT.
Junior needed to shear away some of the excess flashing around the OEM rear speaker mounting panel in order to fit the 12-inch Audison subwoofer inside the rear passenger side wall. Once again, stealthy is the name of the game here, and by having a custom sub enclosure sunk into the rear panel, this leaves the small interior of this car open and usable. For those of you who don't know about this process, the guys created a mold from the inside of the new subwoofer cavity. They laid up a few layers of fiberglass to essentially hold the shape, popped it out, and continued the layup in the fabrication shop next door. This pod was reinforced through many stages of glass and resin in order to ultimately become filled in with loose baffling material to create the punchy high-fidelity bass I was after. I listen to all genres of music, and this system needed to be able to perfectly reproduce all of the nuances of well-engineered recordings, unlike the factory system, which is flat out unable to get to that level of range. Maybe audio is more important to me than other folks, but once you hear what a great car audio system sounds like, it's hard to accept anything less. It would be a misstep to build a car audio system that added additional weight over OEM to a sports car like the TT or any high-performance car for that matter. Ernie and I took that as a major priority when designing the layout of this amp rack. Junior used a hole saw and hacked out 3-inch holes every 3 to 4 inches to keep weight down, and the finished amp rack only weighs 7 pounds, yet still has the correct rigidity and structure to serve its purpose. Due to the complexity of this rear section, Junior and Daniel built a new set of interior rear quarter panels out of fiberglass and finished them in the same suede as the amp rack cover panel. The final reveal happened for me after being out of state for a few weeks. Needless to say, I was blown away by the fit and finish of the custom fab work, and the sound was well beyond anything I was expecting. The Bit 1 digital signal processor combined with the SR series amps clearly have the capacity and range to faithfully power these Voce speakers, and the way the Audison line works together seamlessly is a nod to their overall vision and quality. The final two items on our checklist were to install a custom set of Audison speaker grill badges and address some weight savings. Removing the entire rear seat assembly saved us 56 pounds, And the other big part of the weight savings plan was in the utilization of this lightweight Odyssey PC1200 battery. According to their website, this battery features 3 times the life, twice the power, and in this instance, a third less weight. With all of the new components, Odyssey battery, custom fabricated panels, and sound deadening, we still ended up being lighter without the rear seats by 11 pounds. At this point I could spout out technical merits and specs, but that's what the Electromedia USA website is for. The bottom line is that Audison and Sound Innovations delivered the goods tenfold. Use your mouse to click the button to the left and gain access to a short Making of Project TTS SF featurette. As a final note to end this series, myself and the folks at Fortitude would like to thank you for being the most important part of this build-up. Without your encouragement and feedback, this whole series would never have happened. Furthermore, I endorse and support all of the companies who partnered up with us for this series, and hopefully you'll consider doing the same.